From the station that's on your side, you're watching News 19 at 6.
Well, good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Lauren Thomas. The interim pastor for Mother Emanuel AME is suing members of his former church for slander. Reverend Norval Goff filed a lawsuit earlier this month against 18 members of Reed Chapel AME in Columbia. The lawsuit claims said church members defamed him by saying that the funds at Reed Chapel were mishandled under Goff's watch. He has been the interim pastor over Mother Emanuel AME since the shooting death of 9 churchgoers back in June of this year. Well, the state's legislative session could soon be shorter. The Senate panel has advanced 2 proposals that would shave a month off of legislators' meeting days at the State House. The House has tried to shorten the session 11 times in the past 20 years. The Senate's panel leader says after growing frustration with extended sessions, they could finally see a shorter one. Currently, the sessions run from January to June each year. Well, Richland County deputies are still investigating a shooting that took place last night around 9. It happened at 220 Spring Tree Drive, and investigators believe 2 cars were involved in an argument involving drugs when shots were fired. 2 people involved in the shooting were driven to the Providence Northeast Hospital. When deputies arrived, only 1 car was at the scene. They are still looking for the second one involved, and they ask that anyone with information about this shooting will call Crime Stoppers at 1-888-CRIME-SC.
Now, the Midland's most accurate forecast with meteorologist Christine Gallagher.
And another warm day here in the Midlands. We topped out in the upper 70s for our high temperatures, well above average for this time of year. Right now, temperatures are in the upper 60s to low 70s for the most part. Newberry, you're coming in at 63 degrees, but Salute is at 69, Lexington at 73, 68 in Columbia, 72 in St. Matthews, and 69 in Sumter. As we take a look at satellite and radar imagery, you can see the clouds coming in across the west, but we've had enough of an onshore flow to see some isolated showers coming in around the Charleston area, Myrtle Beach area, and even one lone shower trying to hold together here as it heads towards Orangeburg, but those are falling apart quickly. Here you go for your forecast for tonight. Light winds, mostly cloudy skies, and an overnight low of 59 degrees. Then we put a chance of showers in the forecast for our Monday with a high of 76. We're going to talk more about those showers on Monday coming up. First, back to you.
All right, thanks, Christine. Well, all lanes are back open on I-77 in Rock Hill after around-the-clock repairs were completed. The 2 lanes on I-77 southbound at mile marker 82 are open after SCDOT crews worked to repair the bridge crossing the Catawba River. Crews were working on the bridge since Tuesday when a hole opened up, but now all lanes are back open. Well, you might want to get out a little early when getting on the roads tomorrow. SCDOT says they will be closing a number of lanes around Columbia to install camera poles for DOT cameras. And you can see your list here on your screen. The closures will happen during various times throughout the days and evenings, and SCDOT reminds the public to please use caution while driving through work zones. Nissan is recalling nearly 34,000 of its Rogue 2015 models to fix a defect that could shift the SUV out of the park position. The auto manufacturer says the problem is caused by a faulty shift selector knob that allows the Rogue to move out of park even when the brake pedal is pressed. The defect affects Rogue vehicles manufactured from February 10th to May 13 of 2015. And if you ever thought about driving for Uber, listen to this. Uber is sending all its drivers nationwide a new 21-page legal agreement that bars them from participating in class action lawsuits against the company. It instead requires them to enter into an agreement in the case of disputes, and this comes following a suit in California that seeks to get drivers defined as company employees as opposed to freelancers. They would then be eligible for reimbursement of costs such as cell phone charges. Well, heads up, you only have a few days until the first health insurance deadline. Tuesday is the last day to enroll or change plans for new coverage if you want to start on January 1st. Now, to find out if you qualify for insurance plans, head to healthcare.gov. You can also enroll and renew plans through the website. If you are eligible, here are a few dates to keep in mind. January 15th is the last day to enroll or change plans for new coverage to start on February 1st. And the January 31st day is the last last day to enroll in a 2016 health insurance plan. Officials say nearly 8 in 10 South Carolinians will be able to find a plan for $75 or less per month after the subsidy. Well, a big shakeup in the race for the White House this week. Republican presidential candidate Ted Cruz has surged to the top of a new poll in Iowa. He's now ahead of Donald Trump and Ben Carson with less than 50 days to go until Iowa caucuses. Brian Webb reports.
USA. Donald Trump spent the weekend taking aim at his usual suspects, the EPA, gun control, and Muslim immigrants. But he also targeted someone new, presidential candidate Ted Cruz.
You look at the way he's dealt with the Senate, where he goes in there like frankly, like a little bit of a maniac. You're never going to get things done that way.
A new poll released this weekend from the Des Moines Register and Bloomberg Politics shows Cruz has a 10-point lead over Trump and an even bigger lead over Ben Carson among Iowa Republicans. Cruz's poll surge is being pushed along by evangelicals and Tea Party conservatives. Last week, Cruz predicted he would inherit the anti-establishment vote.
I believe that gravity will bring both of those campaigns down, and I think the lion's share of their supporters come to us.
The Washington Post reported last week that some party elders are considering ways to sidestep a possible Trump nomination. Trump said that would be a mistake and could force him to run as a third-party candidate.
I signed a pledge, but a pledge was a double deal. They were supposed to be honorable. So we're going to find out. If it's that way, they're going to have problems.
The Iowa caucuses are set for February 1st. Brian Webb for CBS News, New York.
Now, the next Republican presidential debate is Tuesday night in Las Vegas. Well, you might have heard some loud noises outside of your door this afternoon. That was the sound of hundreds of motorcycles going through Columbia today. It was all for the 2015 Vets Christmas Charity Ride. Each year, riders bring gifts and donations to the Dorn VA Medical Center. The ride helps to spread and deliver a little holiday cheer for veterans. And one rider says this trip has a special meaning.
What I see here is people coming together to do something so wonderful for people who may not have anybody to visit them in the holidays or give them gifts or anything like that, and make somebody's day with just a kind gesture. Yes, I drove 3 hours to be a part of this great event. This is the first, I guess, bike ride I've ever been a part of, and for it to be for veterans, it hits home for me, and I think it's unbelievable.
Motorcycle riders from across the state and as far away as Virginia participated in the ride from Fort Bragg in North Carolina to the Dorn VA Medical Center here. Well, a few weeks ago, Richland County named December 14th as Greg Aaliyah Day. Aaliyah is the fallen Forest Acres officer who lost his life in the line of duty. In honor of his memory, his wife Cassie has decided to show her appreciation for law enforcement by hosting a Feed an Officer Day. And here's a list of restaurants in Richland County and Columbia who will be participating in the event. December 14th is also the wedding anniversary for Greg and Cassie Aaliyah. Well, next week, you'll have another chance to help feed families in need. News 19 will be hosting a Joy of Giving telethon fundraiser to help the Salvation Army serve struggling families and senior citizens around the Midlands. The money raised will go to make sure they receive the emergency assistance they need to stay in their homes, feed their family, and keep the heat on. The telethon will take place next Wednesday and Thursday from 6 in the morning to 8 at night each day. Well, folks were able to cross off some names on their shopping list today at Crafty Feast. It's the largest indie craft fair in the Midlands, and the event features over 100 homemade craft vendors from across the state and the Southeast. Organizers say that they have something there for everybody.
Sure, we have people who solder their own jewelry. We even have people in back that are hand printing custom note cards for people right on the spot.
The craft fair happens once a year on the second Sunday in December, and this year it was held at the Columbia Metropolitan Convention Center. Still ahead, even though it's the middle of December, we saw spring-like temperatures this weekend. After the break, meteorologist Christine Gallagher will let us know how many more warm days we can look forward to.